This is not a drill. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of multilingualism in the Philippines made by cyborgs from Mindoro State University.
Classes and school activities in all levels are suspended.
Mass gathering or events are prohibited.
Deliveries of food and essential supplies will continue.
LPT 305 Kalaluan Christine Cassandra C.
LPT 306 Candor Modison C.
LPT 307 Pumbaer, Jamaica.
LPT 308 Fabul Azalia Kerzane V. Now commencing multilingualism in the Philippines.
Language and Education Policy Evolution. Ready. Language and Education Policy Evolution. During Spanish period, Spanish was an official language of the new Republic of the Philippines from 1898 to 1976, and it was a compulsory subject in schools until 1987, when it was relegated to a optional promotion language alongside Arabic. The use of Spanish language is extended to civil service and business. During the short-lived First Philippine Republic, the 1899 Malolos Constitution made Spanish compulsory in public and judicial affairs. During the American period, English is the official state language of the Philippines. Year 1901, when the Philippine Commission approved Act 74 to make English the teaching language in schools. Eventually, the post-war establishment of the Philippine Republic precipitated also a shift in language and education policy. During the Commonwealth period, December 30, 1937, President Manuel L. Quezon signed Executive Order No. 134 Series of 1937 proclaiming the national language of the Philippines based on Tagalog language as recommended by the members of the NLI. The said executive order would precipitate initiatives for full policy institutionalized, namely a national language based on Tagalog. For bilingual education, Department of Education, Culture and Sports or DEX released DEX Order No. 25 Series of 1974 entitled Implementing Guidelines for the Policy on Bilingual Education. The Bilingual Education Policy or BEP aims at the achievement of competence in both Filipino and English at the national level through the teaching of both languages and their use as media of instruction at all levels. For Executive Order No. 335, on August 25, 1988, when President Corazon Aquino signed Executive Order No. 335 enjoining all government offices to take steps necessary for the purpose of using Filipino language in official transactions, communications, and correspondence. For Republic Act 7104, on August 14, 1991, when President Corazon Aquino signed into law Republic Act 7104, known as the Commission on the Filipino Language Act, creating the Komisyon sa Wikang Filipino or KWF, which is tasked to undertake, coordinate, and promote researches for the development, propagation, and preservation of Filipino and other Philippine languages. For Republic Act 7722, in 1994, President Ramos signed into law Republic Act No. 7722, creating the Commission on Higher Education or CHED. Republic Act No. 7722 is an act creating the Commission on Higher Education, appropriating funds therefore and for other purposes. Stated that the state shall protect, foster, and promote the right of all citizens to affordable quality education at all levels and shall take appropriate steps to ensure the education shall be accessible to all.
MTB-MLE Theories and Assumptions. Ready.
Good day, I am Modison Candor and today we are going to talk about mother tongue-based multilingual education. So what is MTB-MLE? Mother tongue-based multilingual education is education, formal or non-formal, in which the children's mother tongue and the national languages are used in the classroom. Children begin their education in a language they understand, which is their mother tongue, and develop a strong foundation in their mother language. MTB-MLE is the government's banner program for education as a salient part of the implementation of the K-12 basic education program. Its significance is underscored by the passing of Republic Act 10533, otherwise known as Enhanced Basic Education Act of 2013. The implementation of MTB-MLE started in school year 2012 to 2013. It is implemented in all public and private schools, specifically in kindergarten, grades 1, 2, and 3, as part of K-12 basic education program that supports the goal of every child a reader and a writer by grade 1. MTB-MLE implementation is endorsed by former President Benigno Aquino III. One of his famous quotes is, "Speak English to connect to the world, speak Filipino to connect to your countrymen, and speak your mother tongue to connect to your heritage." The institutionalization of MTB-MLE in the Philippines through Republic Act 10533 is a product of a long process involving theory building, validation, and evidence-based advocacy driven enough to sustain until a certain level of recognition is achieved. A survey of research reports on the use of language in education revealed that using the learner's mother tongue facilitates literacy, learning of academic content, acquisition of a second language, enabling learners to be bilingual, and overall academic achievement. For example, the first Iloilo experiment held on 1948 to 1954, wherein it shows that the group who uses Hiligaynon as the language of instruction was significantly superior in proficiency in language and reading tests, rather than the group who uses English for the same test among grade 1 and 2 pupils. There are multiple experiments similar to this, but it only concludes that people who uses mother tongue on the first years of education has a significant and consistent advantage for children and may ensure academic achievement. In the Philippine experience, the MTB-MLE institutionalization is very much of a product of narratives that were brought to the national consciousness by advocates who documented the splinter initiatives in various communities of practice and transforms this into one compelling action agenda for decision making, eventually bringing MTB-MLE into the educational mainstream by legislation through the K-12 law. This is an important point for assessment as this provides for a clear triangulation between theories, policies, and community practices. Research has increasingly shown that teaching in a mother tongue early on in school is effective in reducing dropout rates and makes education more engaging for marginalized groups. Children who benefit from mother tongue-based multilingual education also perform better in their second language. MTB-MLE programs also bridges the gap between the culture at home, at school, and mainstream society. They do not only improve learning, but they also broaden outlooks, increase tolerance, and foster a respect for cultural diversity.
MTB-MLE issues and challenges. Ready. Good day, everyone. I'm Jamaica Laverne, and now we're gonna talk about MTB-MLE issues and challenges. Advocates for MTB-MLE believe that learning foundational lessons in a first language encourages more classroom engagement and develops stronger literacy abilities. But the enactment of the project was not done easily, for it has to face several issues. First is the entanglement of MTB-MLE in the language war. Policies on what language of instruction should be used in classrooms are enacted. First, we have the bilingual education policy, which is concerned only in developing fluency in English and Filipino, and treats regional language as mere bridge to the already dominant languages. Second, pro-English crowd who had strong influence on policymaking made what we also have as English-only bill. Recall also that no less than former President Arroyo, now re-elected representative of the 2nd District of Pampanga, filed in 15th Congress a thoroughly English-only bill mandating the use of the language from grade 1 through college. Third, we also have Filipino-only language policies. Thus, MTB-MLE have to fend off attacks from subscribers of the monolithic centralist in language plumbing and education. Moreover, there is lack of materials and funding inaccessibility, and there is a gap in policy and practice. Studies recommend continuous training for teachers, whether new hires or veterans, as well as the creation of quality prepared, reviewed, and updated localized learning materials to address problems in service delivery and utilization. They also urge schools to instill pride and value of languages by making them visible in schools. However, funding localization efforts for the program was found difficult to achieve. While the law provides for funding of these activities, the DepEd and COA make it difficult for teachers to access it to finance MTB-MLE related and allowed activities. As a result, there is no sufficient instructional materials for the children, which impede the development of learners' reading, listening, speaking, and writing skills. To conclude, mother tongue-based multilingual education policy is great in a way that it rested on diversity and multiculturalism, but putting its aims and objectives into practice is not as simple as it might appear. Hence, monitoring with greater vigilance in its implementation is needed.
Republic Act Number 10533 and Department Order 31 Series of 2012 and 2013 read.
I'm just a little bit caught in the middle, what's K to 12 and how is it implemented? I just wanted to know RA10533 and I don't know why.
To make the time sufficient for mastery of skills and talents, the K-12 was enacted. 2 years of school were added. RA10533 referred to as the K-12 law.
Not meant to find per subject, earnings were done year 2012. Review number 31, curriculum enhancement for total learner development, spiral approach design.
Year 2013, the DO31 was clarified. There were changes in language and time. The MTB-MLE was used to build proficiency, understanding and competency,
Like how I feel students should be.
Your engagement has been recorded on our database regarding multilingualism in the Philippines.
Wait for further announcement on the next step of the experiment.
Blessed be our new founding father and the Philippines, a nation reborn.
May God be with us all.